Hello everyone, this is Vijay Kumar Singh, member of Team 405 Found of Hackslash community. And today I'm going to take the JavaScript lectures for Hackslash Study Jams. So without wasting any time, let's start. First of all, you are required to make a folder and open that folder in your VS Code. So I have opened my folder. So after opening the folder, you have to create three files. One of index.html, other is style.css, and third, the most important one is app.js. So after uh, making this files, you have to simply define a basic structure of this HTML file, and then you have to link your JS folder, that is JS file, with your HTML file. So to do that, uh, under the body tag, we have to define a script tag, and using the source attribute, we can pass the directory of our JS file. So here it is in same folder, so we simply write the name of our file, that is app.js. So before starting, there is a requirement of one extension, commonly known as like preview. So this is that extension by Microsoft. You need to install it. Now, after installing, simply go to your index.html file, and then you have to click on this icon. After clicking, you will have a basic live preview of your web page. Now, if you want to open it in our browser, click here and then select open in browser. Now, as you can see here, my web page is open in Chrome browser. So let me link it with my VS Code. So let's start. So first of all, what we can do? First of all, the basic we can do is we can print any message in our console. So for that, we write console.log and say hi. So to see where our message is, simply we have to go to inspect, then go to console tab, and you can see here we get our message hi. Now let's say we want to print other message. Uh, let's say Hackslash. So you can see here Hackslash is also printed in our console. Now using this, we can perform various tasks, like we can do arithmetic calculations, mathematical expressions can be related, like let's say console.log, what is 9 plus 10. So you can see here we get 19, or what is 9 multiplied by 10, it's 90, or you can simply do division and subtraction, anything you want. Now this is basically print our message or whatever we want to print in console. We can also generate error in console by using console.error, and what type of error we want to print. So here we can write, let's say, network error. So here we can see that we got an error stating that we have a network error. So console.error is used for that. Now we can use window.alert to pop up a message whenever our web page loads. So let's say we pop up welcome to my website. So whenever someone opens your website, then there will be an alert that is welcome to my website. Okay. You can also pass multiple alerts, like let's say I am Sujay. So when you refresh, you get the first alert that is welcome to my website. Okay. And then you get your second alert that is I'm Sujay. Okay. So this was some basic fun thing you can do with JavaScript in console tab. Now let's move to variables in JavaScript. So what is variable? So we can assume variable as a container, an empty container in which we can store something. In coding language, we can say we can store data. So uh, how we can declare a variable in JavaScript? So we can declare it by using two most common methods like using let and const. So how we can do it? That let's start. So we will write the keyword const, then we will write the name of the variable. Let's say my variable name would be mm, car, and we will assign some value to it. Let's say my car will be Supra. Now you want to print your variable in console. So simply we'll type console.log and we will write the variable name that is car. So we can see here we get Supra. Another we have is let. So using let also we can define variables. So let's say let uh, fruit was uh, let's say apple, and now we can console log it. Let's say fruit. So we can see here we have got Supra and apple. Now, if we want to print both car and fruit together, so we can simply here use this comma and then write car. But I'm sorry, no, not comma, plus sign and car. So you can see here, we got apple and Supra combined. Uh, like if you want to give a space between them, then we'll use a space and then again a plus sign, and then you can see here apple space Supra. So now, uh, there is two method that is widely used, that is commonly used to declare the variables, that is const and let. So what is the difference between both of them? So the difference is like uh, if you are declaring a variable using const, then once you give its value, then its value cannot be changed. But in case of let, you can change this value multiple times. And so with example, so earlier we had fruit as apple. Now let's we want to change it. Now fruit equal to mango. Then our fruit variable is changed from apple to mango. See, you can see here what we get printed mango and Supra instead of apple and Supra. But if we try to like reassign the value of car, then we will get error. That is, let's say car B Toyota. So you can see we get a type error, that is assignment to a constant variable, which is not allowed. So the basic difference between both of them is once you assign a const, you can't change it. But in case of let, you can change multiple times or you can reassign multiple times. One more important point to be noticed that let's say you can first declare a variable and later you can assign its value. But in case of const, at the time of declaration of variable, you have to like assign the value. Otherwise, it will give error. Like you can see, if I do it like this, then I get the error. I get error. So at the time of declaration of const, we are required to initialize it with some value. So super. Now there is one more way to like declare a variable, that is where, but it is not being used nowadays because it has been outdated and it was being used before 2016. So it is also very simple, like where, and just give the variable name that you want. Let's say uh, animal, and let's say animal big dog. And like if you want to print, simply console log dog and no, and animal. So you can see here we get dog here, and same just like we can first declare this variable, and after that we can reassign the value, like you can see. Animal. Now then we can assign the value and we can see it's fine. So this was all about the variables in JavaScript. Now next we will be seeing data types. So now we are going to start with the data types. Now a JavaScript variable can hold 8 types of data. That means JavaScript has 8 data types. So let's start with the first one. The first one is string, string data type. Now, how to initialize it? We will use let variable, let car equals supra. So to initialize a string, we declare the characters enclosed in quotes. Now here I have used a double quote. Either you can use single quotes or you can also use backticks. So you can use single quotes, car, or you can use backticks. Now let me print it. Console.log car. Now here we go to inspect and console. So you can see Supra. Now second data type is number. Uh, it is basically the number, mathematical number you use in daily life. That is second one is number. So how to initialize it? Simply use any variable like let num is equal to 8. Another we let num2 equals 9. Now let's do console.log num plus num2. So as you can see here, we get the sum of these two numbers, 8 plus 9 is equal to 17. So this is the number data type. Now this is big. Next one is bigint. Now bigint is used for representing a large integer value, like a very large integer value. Let me show, like we'll use const variable, const big num is equal to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, this type of numbers that is very big integers are used to declared within big int. Like you don't have to make a special declaration of whether it is a number or big int or string. You have to simply use a JavaScript variable and you have to write it. So you don't have to take much load like we do in other programming languages. Now, fourth one is Boolean. Now, Boolean can be either true or false. So let's see how to do it. Now, let is save, be true. Now let's console log this. So you can see here true. We can also assign it as a false. That is false. So false. Now next we have object. So what is object? Object is a collection of key value pairs of data. Let's see. Now let object is equal to. First, we will declare the key like name. Uh, we can use here a string name is equal to j separated by comma. Then let year be 2028. Now, how to console log this object? To simply uh, go to the console dot log, write the object name that we have obj, and simply the property of the object that you want to access or the key value, like let's say name. So here you can see Sujay, or if you want to like access the year, here you can see 2028. So this is how objects are represented under the curly brackets. Yeah, you have to declare the key, like here name, then use the data types of what data type you want to represent. Like here is string. So yeah, like here is number. So like that. Now the other is array object. Like it's same like it is an uh, arrays of an of any data type like a string or number. So let's see array of object. How to declare it? Like let's say cons car is true. Like the way you declare the arrays in other programming languages like C or C. So like that only. Here you have to enter the values like say Volvo Supra. Like here I have already declared car, so there is issue. So now you can console log it. You can see here Volvo and Supra. So this is an object. Now, uh, similarly, like you have done array object, you can also do a date object. How to do that? Simply I can declare like let's say const date is equal to new date. Here uh, you can declare the date like it's year 2026 and month is like 03 and today's date like say 27. And then you can console log it. You can see here Friday, March 27 to 2026 with time, and that's all. Now, another is undefined. So basically, it's like declaring a variable and not assigning its value. So like let x, you can assign it later, but if you don't assign a value to it, then it will be indifferent. So let's see. See, here you can see undefined. Uh, After declaring the variable, you can also declare its value, but it's only for the let. You can't do for the const, because whenever you can declare a const variable, you have to assign the value at that time only. So let x is equal to 10, a number, and then here you can see 10. Now, next one is null. If like something has no value or nothing, you can simply assign it as a null. So let y is equal to null. Now you can console log it, log y. You can see here it's a null value. So these are all the data types in JavaScript. So now let's we start with the operators. Now operators in JavaScript. So what are operators? So operators are mathematical and logical computation, like the assignment operator, also uh, commonly known as equals to. Like it equals, like example of assignment operator is equal to. So this is used to assign some value to a variable, like let's x equal to 5 or 6. So this equals to sign is used to assign the value to x. So this is an assignment operator. We also have like addition operator, the plus sign. We also have multiplication operators and comparison operator and many more. So first we start with the first section of operators, that is arithmetic operators. So what are arithmetic operators? Arithmetic operators perform arithmetic on number, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, increment, decrement. So let's start with one by one with the assign arithmetic operators. So we let x is equal to 10, let y equals 11. So the first one is addition. Many one of you know. So let z equal to x plus y. So this plus is used for the addition. Console log z. So here you can see 21. Now another one is subtraction. When you want to do subtraction from between two variables, so you can do using subtraction, like minus sign. So x minus y is -1. Another is like multiplication, 110. Similarly, we have division, and the one is modulus operator. So what is this modulus operator? So modulus operator basically gives us the remainder after doing the division. Like if you divide 10 with 11, so what will be your remainder? So basically it will be 10 only. For example, let x will be 10 and y be 2. So when you divide a 10 with a 2, what will be your remainder? Your remainder will be nothing but 0. So here you can see 0. let's say y is equal to 3. So when you divide 10 with a 3, what will be your remainder? Your remainder will be 1. So this is the work of modulus operator to find the remainder. Now, other is exponentiation operator. Like to when you want to calculate the power of some number, like 2 to the power 3, how you can do that? So let's see. We have x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3. So to get the exponent of a number with either, you use like double asterisks. This is known as exponentiation operator. So what it state that what will be the uh, what will be 2 to the power 3, like x to the power y. So 2 to the power 3 will be 8. Similarly, like say 4. What will be 4 to the power 3? It will be nothing but 64. Or 5 to the power 3, it will be 125. So this was exponentiation operator. So now we are going with increment operator. So how this increment operator work? Uh, Let us say x equal to 5. So this double plus sign is increment operator. Like you can do plus plus x and console log it. So you will get 6. So what does increment operator do? It increases the value by 1. Either you can do like this, the increment, or you can do post increment, like x plus plus, and you can console log the value. So in both cases, it will increase the value by 1. Now, similarly, we have decrement operator. Like you can do x minus minus. Here you can see you get the value 4, or minus minus x, that is 4. So basically, decrement operator, what it does, it reduces the value by 1. So this was all about the arithmetic operators. Now we're moving forward with the assignment operators. Now, what are assignment operators? Uh, from the name, it is uh, clear to everyone. Like assignment operators assigns value to a JavaScript variable. So we have several type of assignment operators. Like first common one is equals. Like let x is equal to 6. This is example of an assignment operator. Another one is like suppose you have to add some value to x. So instead of doing x equal to x plus 6 and console logging its value, you can reduce this by doing simply x plus equal to 6. It does the same as the earlier one did, like increment the value by 6. Similarly, you can you can do x minus equal 6. Like it is same as uh, reducing the value by 6. What we will get? 6 minus 6 is 0. Similarly, you can do with multiplication also. X to 2. What will be? Like it is same as multiplying the value of x with 2. So here we get 12. You can also divide it in the same way. Here we get 3. Similarly, you can get the power also. Like if you want to compute what is the 6 to the power 2. So you simply do x double asterisk equal to 2. Here you can see square of 6 is 36, or the cube is 216. Similarly, if you want to find the modulus operator is like getting the remainder. You can do x modulus equal to, let's say, 5. So what you get when you divide 6 by 5? 1. That will be 1. Remainder will be 1. That's only you got here. So this was all about the assignment operators. Now we are moving forward to comparison operators. From name itself, it is clear that comparison operators are used for the comparison purposes. And what will be the result? Either true or false. So let x is equal to 6 and let y equal to 8. I will be teaching you if else in uh, uh, like just after few more topics. So for now, just try to understand what I'm trying to do. So basically, or let me leave it. So let console.log. Now the first one is double equals. What this double equals to? This does a comparison whether x is equal to y or not. So here you can see 6 and 8. Are they equal? Absolutely not. So the output is false. Or you can say, is x greater than y? No, it's not. Is x less than y? Yes, it is less than y. And here you can say it's true. So this is an example of another comparison operator. Now, is not equal to, is x not equal to y? Now, this symbol is used to compare, like it is similarly asking uh, that is x not equal to y? And the output will be true, yes, because 6 is not equal to 8. Now, let me have one great concept for you. Now, now, now think what will be the comparison operator for this? Like, as here you can see x is equal to y, the output is true. But you can see here x is string and y is number. So how to ensure that the data type is also same? So basically you can simply use a third equal to symbol, and here you can do false. So basically, if you want to compare both the value and the data type, then you can use three equal to symbol, or only you want to compare the value, then you can use two equal to symbol. So here string 8 and number 8 are similar as same. So here it is true. But if you also want to check the data type, whether they are of same data type or not, use the third equal to sign. And here it is false. Again, next we have greater than or equal to. Now, is x greater than equal to y? Yes, x is equal to y. That is, uh, 8 is equal to 8. Is, let me do it's 7. Is x less than equal to y? True. 7 is less than equal to 8. Is x greater than equal to y? False. 7 is not greater than equal to 8. So this was all about the operators in JavaScript. Now we are going further with the if else statement. So similarly, what is the syntax of if else in JavaScript? So here is the syntax for the if else condition in JavaScript. Here we have if, and inside we write condition, and here we write the code to execute. If the condition is true, execute this. If not, simply skip. Now this is for the if only. Now, if you add else here, so what will happen? First, the condition will be checked. If the condition is true, then the code inside the if block will be executed. And if the condition is false, the code inside else block is executed. So let's check it. We have already uh, learned about the comparison operator. So is x equal to y? If this will be true, then console log hi. If it's not, then console log hello. So here you can see, is x equal to y? Is 7 equal to 8? No, it's not. So the else block code will be executed. That will be printing of hello. And you can see here it's hello. Now let's see, is x not equal to y? Yes, it's not equal to y. So what will be printed? Hi. You can see here, hi. So next is nested if else condition. So what is this? So basically, like here we have if condition, then we can nest it like it's basically like writing the another if else condition inside a if or else block. Like say if inside the if block we are writing if x equals to 7, console log JavaScript. So you can see here, or like let's say else console log HTML, let's say. So if a code is of one line, you can directly write it the way I have written here. So you can see here, first, which condition will be checked? Is x not equal to y? Is 7 not equal to 8? Yes, it will be true. Then the code inside this if block will be executed. The first one will be printing of hi. Here you can see hi. Now, next if condition is x equal to 7? You can see here x equal to 7. Then the code inside this block. Like the it is only a one line code, so there will be printing of JavaScript because x is equal to 7. Let's say if x is equal to 8, then what will be here? Let me refresh HTML. Because x is not equal to 8, then the code of else will be executed. So this was all about nested if else condition. Now, other one we have is if else if condition. Like, see, if x is equal to y, do this, else if x greater than 5, do this, else if x less than 5, do this, else do this. So in if else if uh, condition, what happens? First of all, the condition for if will be checked. If this will be true, then the code inside if block will be executed. If it false, then the next else if condition will be checked. If this condition is true, the code inside this will be blocked and rest will be discarded. Suppose this is also false, then it will go to next else if condition. It will be checked. If this will be correct, this block will be executed and other will be discarded. If this is also wrong, then finally the else statement block of code will be executed. So now see how it works. Console log I, console log hello, console log I hello, and console log pi. So you can see here, first condition will be checked. Is x and y equal? Is x and y equal? No, it's not. Then next condition will be checked. Is x greater than 5? Yes, x is greater than 5. So the code inside this block will be executed and the rest one will be ignored. So hello will be printed and other will be ignored. So this was all about if else. There is a short form of if else, also known as ternary operator. So how all this work? So let me see. Let me show you. So um, the condition for the ternary operator is first we have condition, then we have expression one, then we have expression two. Like let x equals to. Now we will write. We have already declared z. Let z equals to. Now we will write the condition. Is x greater than y? Question mark. If it's true, then the value of z will be x. Otherwise, the value will be y. Let console log z. C value is 8. So first of all, the comparison, the condition will be checked. Like, is x greater than y? Is 7 greater than 8? No, it's not. So the first expression is rejected and the second expression is accepted. That is y. And the value of y is 8. So z will equals to 8. And when you console log it, you will get here 8. Now let's slightly change. The condition is x less than y? Yes, 7 is less than 8. So the value will be x. So the value of z is equal to 7. And here what we get? 7 only. So this was all about ternary operator. Just like if else condition, we have also switch statement. So let's see how this works. So what is the syntax for the switch statement? Like first we have the switch keyword, then inside this bracket we write condition, uh, then we write case, then the value and the block of code that we want to execute. So there will be different case like case X, case Y, something, case Z, and there will be a default. So how this works? First, the condition is written here. Condition or like, sorry, condition not, it's expression. So here, uh, the expression will be written and the value will be compared with the different cases. Like, see, uh, suppose 3 plus 6 is 3 plus 6, 8. First case is value is 8. Second case is value is 9. And third case is value 10. So let's say if value is 8, console log 8. If value is 9, console log 9. If value is 10, console log 10. And default, if neither of the cases are true, then console log hello. So how this works? First of all, the expression is evaluated. Now, after evaluating the expression, the first case is checked. Is 8 equals to 9? It's definitely not. So the code inside this case is skipped. Now we go to second case, that is 9. Is value of 6 plus 3 is 9? Yes, it's 9. So we will print 9. Now what happens in switch case statement is that if any case passes, that all the cases down it will be executed. So as you can see, case this 9 is true, so 9 is printed. Also 10 is printed and hello is printed. So if you want to implement such type of thing, you can use switch case statement. But suppose that you want to like don't want to print this case 10 and default. So what you do? So after every code block, you will use the break keyword. Break keyword. Break keyword. So now what happens? First, after introducing the break keyword, case 8 will be checked. If case 8 is correct, then the code will be executed and break will ensure that the further succeeding cases will not going to execute. So you can see case 8 is wrong, so it won't be executed. Case 9 is true, so 9 is printed and the break statement led us to the termination of the switch case statement. So this is the use of the break statement. Now suppose, like, what is the use of default? Now suppose none of them are true. None of the cases passes the expression. So the default code will be executed. So this was all about the switch case statement. Now we are going to study logical operators. Now many of you will think why you don't taught the logical operators in operator section. So here you will see why. So suppose we have x as 10, y as 8, and you have to perform some if else condition. So uh, first of all, I would like to introduce the types of logical operators. The first is AND operator, and it is denoted by double AND symbol. Second is OR operators. This is its symbol. And third is NOT operator. So how to use this? So this AND is logical AND operator. Like if you want to mm, com- see whether two expressions are correct or not, you want to ensure that a certain um, code block executes only if two or three or four conditions are satisfied, then only this code executes, then we use AND operators. For what about OR? Like say you have three expressions and you want to execute a block of code. If any one of them is true, then you use OR operator. Not is simply not, like if our expression is not true, then execute this block. So how to implement this? Let's see. If x is greater than y and y is greater than 6, then console log true. So see, here we have two expressions, like x is greater, two conditions. Is x greater than y? You can see 10 is greater than 8. Yes, it is. And other is y greater than 6? Yes. So when both of this condition are true, then only this will this block of code will be executed. If any one of them will be incorrect, then this uh, logging of true will not be happen. So see here, false. Let's say false. So as you can see, this condition is true, but this is not true. So this um, block of code is does not executed, but this will be executed. So for if you want to ensure that all the conditions must be true, then we use logical AND operator. Now, if you want to check that if only one uh, expression, one or two, मतलब at least one operator is true, then execute the block of code. Then we use OR operator, logical OR operator. So here you can see x greater than y is true. This is false. So one is true, then this will be executed. Now this was all about OR. Now let's see NOT. You can see x is greater than y. Yes, it's true. But when you apply the NOT operator, it get reversed. Like true becomes false, false becomes true. So this is false, so this won't be printed and this will be printed. So you can see false. So basically it's and or operation type of thing. Let me summarize it. If all the if all the conditions are true, true, then this will work or will return true. If any one of the condition is true, then or will return true. If condition is false, then not will convert it to true. If it is true, then it will convert it to false. So this was all about the logical operators. Now let's jump into loops. So what is loop? So loops are basically used to perform a same, or you can say execute the same line of code for a number of times. The first we have is for loop. So how to use that? The syntax for loop is simple. The keyword for, here we write the block of code, and here we write some expression. Expression one, expression two, and expression three. So in first there is a initialization, like say let I equals to 0. Second is condition, like I less than 6. And another is action, like after every iteration, what action you want to perform. Let's say I want to increment the value of I. So let me run it. So log I. Let me like, wait for a second. You here I can wait. Let me restart. Yeah. So here you can see that high is printed 6 times. The six symbol indicates 6 times. So what happened basically? First we initialize as I equals to 0. So and then we pass the condition that I must be less than 6. If this condition becomes false, then the for loop is stopped. The loop is stopped. And after every iteration, the value of I is incremented with 1. So what happens? Initially, the value of I is 0. Is I less than 6? Yes. Then execute this code that print high. And then after executing the code, increment the value by 1. So I will become 1. Then again 1 will be checked. Is 1 less than 6? Yes, true. Then again I will be printed. Again this will be done 6 times. So here you can see 6 times high is printed. Now let's say you want to break out in middle, like uh, you want to print high 3 times. So x if I equals to 3, break. So what break uh, does is basically it makes us come out of the loop. So uh, here we have to write 2. So whenever I value becomes 2, uh, the loops get terminated. So break statement is used for terminating out of the loop. So this was all about the for loops. Now let's go to I loop, while loop. Sorry. So the syntax for while loop is while, then here we have condition, and here we write the code. So how this work? So first of all, the condition is checked. If condition is true, then the block of code inside the while loop is performed. After performing once, again the condition is checked. If it is true, again it is done. Again it is checked. Again it is performed. So this is how while loop works. So let us see with example. Example, let x equal to 0. And condition is x must be less than 5. Say. So what we want to do, we want to print hello 5 times. And after that, we will increment the value of x by 1. We started. Yes. So here you can see hello is printed 5 times. Hello is printed 5 times because uh, initially value of x is 0. Is x less than 5? True. Then execute the code that is print hello, then increment the value by 1. and again check, again print hello, increment by one, check, increment, print. So this is how it works. So now we are starting with the string method. हम लोग अब पढ़ेंगे string method, different string का method जिसका हम लोग use करके बहुत सारे work कर सकते हैं. So let x is equal to apple. So पहला string का ये concept है कि like strings में indexing होता है like 0 1 2 3 4 ऐसे. So अगर हम लोग किसी particular character को एक्सेस करना चाहते हैं किसी भी स्ट्रिंग का, तो हम लोग उसका इंडेक्स से कर सकते हैं। तो कैसे करेंगे? वो ये कंसोल डॉट लॉग करके एक्स और हम लोग इंडेक्स उसका पास करेंगे बैक। सो अगर हम लोग को फर्स्ट कैरेक्टर चाहिए किसी भी स्ट्रिंग का, तो हम लोग 0 करेंगे। तो हम लोग यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं कि ए प्रिंट हो चुका है। लेट्स सी फर्स्ट इंडेक्स पे क्या है? फर्स्ट इंडेक्स पे पी है, सेकंड पे भी पी है, थर्ड पे एल और फोर्थ पे ई। तो हम लोग ऐसे किसी भी स्ट्रिंग के कोई भी किसी भी पोजीशन के कैरेक्टर को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। अब दूसरा मेथड है डॉट लेंथ। अगर किसी भी हम लोग किसी भी स्ट्रिंग का अगर हमें लेंथ जानना है, तो हम लोग डॉट लेंथ का यूज करते हैं। तो एक्स डॉट लेंथ, ये एक्स स्ट्रिंग का कितना लेंथ है? 5, सो वी विल गेट 5। अब दूसरा है कॉनकैट। अगर 2 स्ट्रिंग्स को हम लोग आपस में जोड़ के एक नया स्ट्रिंग बनाना चाहते हैं, तो डॉट कॉनकैट का यूज़ कर सकते हैं। सो लेट y is equal to x dot concat apple banana, and we will console log it. y, यहाँ पे देख सकते हो एप्पल बनाना है। तो डॉट कॉनकैट का यूज़ होता है किसी भी 2 स्ट्रिंग्स पर आपस में जोड़ के एक नया स्ट्रिंग बनाने के लिए। ना हम लोग को अगर किसी भी स्ट्रिंग्स में से कोई स्पेसिफिक पार्ट को लेना है, लाइक एक स्ट्रिंग को काट के दूसरा स्ट्रिंग बनाना है, तो हम स्लाइस मेथड का यूज करते हैं। कैसे? तो से वाई डॉट स्लाइस, स्टार्टिंग इंडेक्स हम लोग डालते हैं लाइक 0 से हमें चाहिए 5th तक, तो हमें क्या आ जाएगा? एप्पल आ जाएगा। जो 5th होता है, 5th इंडेक्स वो इंक्लूड नहीं होता है। जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो एप्पल बनाना में 5th इंडेक्स है बी, 5th इंडेक्स पे बी है, तो बी इंक्लूड नहीं होगा, 4th इंडेक्स वाला इंक्लूड होगा। सो 0 से 5 हम लोग को एप्पल मिल जाएगा। नेक्स्ट स्ट्रिंग मेथड है हमारा टू अपर केस एंड टू लोअर केस। लाइक जैसे हमारा ये एक्स स्ट्रिंग है, वो सब लोअर केस में है। अगर हम लोग चाहते हैं कि इसको सारे अपर केस में कन्वर्ट करें, तो सिंपली विल यूज एक्स डॉट टू अपर केस। अब हम लोग जब कंसोल लॉग करेंगे एक्स को, तो सारे अपर केस में होंगे। लाइक यहाँ पे एक्स डॉट टू अपर केस सारे एप्पल में आ रहे हैं, सारे एप्पल अपर केस में। सिमिलरली अगर लेट जेड इक्वल टू हेलो, अगर हमें इसे सब को लोअर केस में कन्वर्ट करना है, तो सिंपली वी कैन यूज जेड डॉट टू लोअर केस। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो सारे कैरेक्टर्स लोअर केस में कन्वर्ट हो चुके हैं। अब हम लोग स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं फंक्शंस। तो फंक्शंस क्या होता है? तो फंक्शंस आर यूजेबल कोड ब्लॉक्स दैट आर डिजाइन टू परफॉर्म अ पार्टिकुलर टास्क। तो फंक्शन एक रीयूजेबल कोड का ब्लॉक है जिसका हम लोग बहुत बार यूज कर सकते हैं। एक बार हम लोग डिक्लेयर कर दिए तो उस फंक्शन को हम लोग जितने बार चाहे उतने बार हम लोग रीयूज कर सकते हैं। कैसे हम लोग फंक्शंस बना सकते हैं? तो लेट्स सी। विल यूज द कीवर्ड फंक्शन और उसका नेम से सम, और सिंपली सम। लेट्स से इसको डिस्प्ले करते हैं, नेम फंक्शन का डिस्प्ले। और इसमें हम लोग क्या करेंगे? प्रिंट कराएंगे हेलो, और डॉट लॉग हेलो। स्टार्ट में मैं ऐसे तो स्मॉल ब्रैकेट्स नेम के बाद प्लेस करना जरूरी है। सो हम लोग फंक्शन, एक बेसिक फंक्शन को यहाँ पे डिफाइन कर चुके हैं। अब इसे इन्वोक कैसे करेंगे, इसे कॉल कैसे करेंगे? तो सिंपली जो फंक्शन का नेम है उसे कर उसे सिंपली राइट कर देंगे तो वो फंक्शन कॉल हो जाएगा। तो जहाँ आप लोग देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पे हेलो एक प्रिंट हो चुका है। तो ऐसे हम लोग इस फंक्शन को हम लोग बहुत बार यूज कर सकते हैं। लाइक से 4 बार हमने फंक्शन को डिस्प्ले फंक्शन को कॉल किया है, 4 बार हेलो प्रिंट हो चुका है। सो ये तो एक बेसिक है। नाउ हम लोग पढ़ेंगे कि फंक्शन में वैल्यू कैसे पास करते हैं, पैरामीटर्स का यूज फंक्शन में कैसे होता है। तो इस स्मॉल ब्रैकेट में लाइक इसको अभी हम लोग कमेंट आउट करते हैं। लेट्स स्टार्ट विद फंक्शन सम। अब हमें सम करना है किसी दो नंबर्स को, तो हम लोग इसमें पास करेंगे दो पैरामीटर्स। पैरामीटर्स कैसे होंगे? लेट्स से a एंड b विल बी द पैरामीटर, और हम लोग रिटर्न क्या करेंगे? रिटर्न, और सिंपली वी विल प्रिंट console.log a प्लस b। अब हमें फंक्शन को जब भी कॉल करना है तो सम के बाद इसमें हम लोग दो वैल्यू को हम लोग को पास करना पड़ेगा। लाइक जैसे हमें सम करना है लाइक 3 एंड 6। तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे इसका वैल्यू प्रिंट हो चुका है 9। सो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो इसका सम यहाँ पे प्रिंट हो चुका है। एक बार और हम लोग फंक्शन को कॉल करते हैं सम 99 एंड 89। तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो उसका सम प्रिंट हो रहा है। तो ये हो गया पैरामीटराइज्ड फंक्शन। अब हम लोग चाहते हैं कि फंक्शन से कुछ वैल्यू रिटर्न हो। यहाँ पे तो सिंपली कोई कोई मतलब ब्लॉक ऑफ कोड को ये एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है। अगर हम लोग चाहते हैं कि ये कुछ वैल्यू रिटर्न करे तो हम लोग रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट का यूज कर सकते हैं। लाइक रिटर्न a प्लस b। सो लेट्स से कि हमें x में चाहिए कुछ दो नंबर का सम लाइक 5 एंड 8। सिंबल वो हमें कंसोल करना है, लॉग करना है ये x का वैल्यू। तो जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो x का वैल्यू 13 यहाँ पे प्रिंट हो चुका है। तो ये फंक्शन क्या कर रहा है? सम फंक्शन में हम लोग दो वैल्यू पास कर रहे हैं 5 और 8। ये फंक्शन में जा रहा है और फंक्शन 5 और 8 का सम को यहाँ पे रिटर्न कर दे रहा है। फिर एक और फंक्शन बनाते हैं, फंक्शन इज एडर लेट्स से, और यहाँ पे हम लोग एज पास करेंगे a, और कंडीशन लगाते हैं इफ a इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल्स टू 18 रिटर्न ट्रू, else return false। सो हम लोग कंसोल लॉग पे आते हैं। इस एडल्ट में लेट्स से 19 डालते हैं, तो 19 एडल्ट है तो यहाँ पे ट्रू आ गया, 18 ट्रू, 14 फॉल्स। सो हम लोग फंक्शंस को ऐसे डिक्लेयर कर सकते हैं, उसमें पैरामीटर्स को पास कर सकते हैं, फंक्शन से वैल्यू को रिटर्न करा सकते हैं, और फंक्शन का कोई कोड जो हो फंक्शन में उसे एग्जीक्यूट करा सकते हैं। सो नेक्स्ट वी हैव एरो फंक्शन। सो फंक्शन को डिक्लेयर करने का एक और मेथड है बाय यूजिंग एरो फंक्शन। तो कैसे करते हैं, लेट्स सी, लेट्स से लाइक const a is equals to like or x equal to here। अगर हम लोग पैरामीटराइज्ड फंक्शन डिक्लेयर करना चाहते हैं तो यहाँ पे पैरामीटर पास करेंगे ए एंड बी, और ये एरो सिंबल देन ब्रैकेट, और यहाँ पे इसके अंदर हम लोग कोड लिखेंगे जो भी हमें करना है, लाइक हम लोग को कंसोल डॉट लॉग करना है, दिस इज एरो फंक्शन। एक्स पहले डिक्लेयर्ड है तो लेट्स से के, ये हम लोग फंक्शन को डिक्लेयर कर चुके हैं। अब इसे कॉल कर कैसे करना है, तो सिंपली के 56। वैसे इसका पैरामीटर्स का भी हम लोग यूज नहीं किया है, लेकिन हमें सिमिलरली जैसे हम फंक्शन को कॉल करते हैं उसे इसे भी कॉल कर सकते हैं। तो बेसिकली डिफरेंस ये है कि हम लोग फंक्शन कीवर्ड का यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं, rather we are using the variables to declare a function like const और let भी हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं। तो एक और ऐसे लिखते हैं, console log and return a plus b। हम लोग एक वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर करते हैं, let m is equal to k56 and console log m। यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं आप, तो वैल्यू 11 आ चुका है। सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट फंक्शंस। नेक्स्ट हम लोग देखने जा रहे हैं स्कोप। स्कोप क्या होता है? सो बेसिकली स्कोप से हमें ये पता चलता है कि कोई भी हम लोग वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं तो वो कहाँ पे एक्सेसिबल है। सो हमारे पास 3 टाइप्स के वे स्कोप हैं, एक ग्लोबल स्कोप, एक फंक्शन स्कोप और एक ब्लॉक स्कोप। ग्लोबल स्कोप क्या होता है? ग्लोबल स्कोप अ, उस टाइप के वेरिएबल्स को हम लोग कह सकते हैं जो ग्लोबली एक्सेसिबल हो। लाइक एक बार हम लोग कहीं डिक्लेयर कर दिए अपना जेएस फाइल में, तो उसे हम लोग कहीं भी एक्सेस कर पाए तो उसको हम लोग कहेंगे कि वो वेरिएबल ग्लोबली स्कोप्ड है, और उस वेरिएबल का स्कोप ग्लोबल है। सिमिलरली सेकेंड होता है फंक्शन को, जो वेरिएबल्स ओनली फंक्शन के अंदर एक्सेसिबल हो उसे कहते हैं फंक्शन के अंदर वो स्कोप्ड है। और तीसरा है ब्लॉक स्कोप, मतलब कोई भी वेरिएबल किसी ब्लॉक ऑफ कोड में ही एक्सेसिबल है तो वो ब्लॉक स्कोप कहलाएगा। हम लोग एग्जांपल देखते हैं, जैसे ग्लोबल स्कोप का देखते हैं। तो लेट एक्स इक्वल टू 9। तो हम लोग जो ये वेरिएबल एक्स को डिक्लेयर किए हैं, ये हम लोग कहीं भी यूज कर सकते हैं। कोई भी ब्लॉक ऑफ कोड में यूज कर सकते हैं, कोई भी फंक्शन के अंदर यूज कर सकते हैं, कहीं भी हम लोग जेएस फाइल में अपना यूज कर सकते हैं। लाइक सी फंक्शन डिस्प्ले एक्स, और हम कॉल करते हैं फंक्शन को डिस्प्ले। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि जो ये एक्स है, ये फंक्शन के अंदर भी एक्सेसिबल है। लाइक एक्स 9, यहाँ पे 9 प्रिंट हो रहा है, तो ये ग्लोबली स्कोप्ड है। राइट, अब इसे और भी हम लोग किसी कोड के ब्लॉक में यूज कर सकते हैं, जैसे फॉर लूप के अंदर भी यूज कर सकते हैं, या से व्हाइल लूप, व्हाइल ट्रू डॉट लॉग कंसोल डॉट लॉग एक्स एंड ब्रेक। ये हमें रीस्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा। Let me do it। सो यहाँ पे हम लोग इंस्पेक्ट करेंगे और कंसोल पे आएंगे। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, यहाँ पे एक बार लाइन प्रिंट हुआ और ये ब्रेक हो गया। सो ब्रेक का हम लोग यूज करते हैं लूप से बाहर आने में। तो ये एक बार इम्प्लीमेंट हुआ, और जैसा कि आप लोग देख सकते हो कि एक्स को हम लोग व्हाइल के अंदर भी एक्सेस कर पा रहे हैं, तो इसका जो स्कोप होगा वो ग्लोबल होगा, यानी इसे हम कहीं भी एक्सेस कर पाएंगे। लेट्स से कि फंक्शन स्कोप क्या होता है। जैसे इस फंक्शन के अंदर हम लोग एक वेरिएबल को डिक्लेयर करते हैं वाई, उसका वैल्यू हम लोग 10 रखते हैं। तो हम लोग इसको सिर्फ इसी फंक्शन के अंदर एक्सेस कर पाएंगे, इसके बाहर हम वाई को एक्सेस नहीं कर पाएंगे। लेट्स सी ये कितना ट्रू है। तो यहाँ पे वाई करते हैं तो हम लोग यहाँ पे ऐसे देख सकते हैं, हम लोग 10 को एक्सेस कर पा रहे हैं। वही अगर हम लोग इस वाइल के अंदर इसे हम लोग एक्सेस करना चाहें तो वो नहीं हो पाएगा। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो अनकॉच एरर, रेफरेंस एरर लाइक वाई इज नॉट डिफाइंड। तो ये क्योंकि ये इसका इस वाई का स्कोप सिर्फ फंक्शन के अंदर लिमिटेड है, तो हम लोग इसे वाइल के अंदर इसे नहीं ले सकते हैं। वही अगर हम लोग एक्स करें जो इसका स्कोप ग्लोबल है, तो उसे हम लोग इजीली एक्सेस कर पाएंगे, लाइक यू कैन सी हियर 9। तो ये था फंक्शन स्कोप। अब ब्लॉक स्कोप क्या है, जैसे व्हाइल के कोड के ब्लॉक में अगर हम लोग कोई वेरिएबल को डिक्लेयर करें, जैसे जेड, इसका वैल्यू हम लोग रखते हैं 19, और यहाँ पे हम लोग जेड को प्रिंट कराते हैं, तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि हम लोग जेड को प्रिंट करा पा रहे हैं 19 को। लेकिन अगर हम लोग जैसे बाहर इस कोड के बाहर हम लोग जेड को एक्सेस करना चाहें, तो वो हम लोग नहीं कर पाएंगे। सी यहाँ पे रेफरेंस एरर आ चुका है, क्योंकि जेड का स्कोप बस इस ब्लॉक, इस कोड के ब्लॉक में लिमिटेड है, इसी में हम लोग इसको एक्सेस कर पाएंगे और बाहर हम लोग नहीं कर पाएंगे। तो ये हो गया ब्लॉक स्कोप, यानी किसी भी कोड के ब्लॉक के अंदर ही ये एक्सेसिबल है, लाइक सिर्फ व्हाइल के अंदर ही एक्सेसिबल है, बाहर इसको एक्सेस नहीं कर पाएंगे, ना ही इस फंक्शन के अंदर एक्सेस कर पाएंगे। सिमिलरली फंक्शन स्कोप क्या होता है, फंक्शन के अंदर डिक्लेयर्ड किया हुआ वेरिएबल, वो उसका स्कोप फंक्शन के अंदर ही होता है। स्कोप मतलब कहाँ पे हम लोग एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, कितना रेंज है उसका, मतलब किस पार्ट ऑफ कोड में उसको हम लोग एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। तो जैसे फंक्शन वाला सिर्फ फंक्शन में कर पाएंगे, ब्लॉक वाला सिर्फ ब्लॉक में कर पाएंगे, और ग्लोबल वाले को हम लोग कहीं भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। So this was all about scope. So now we are going to start math in JavaScript. So math in JavaScript provide us various built-in methods to do several tasks. So जैसे like हमें पाई का वैल्यू चाहिए तो हम लोग मैथ डॉट पाई, और या यूलर्स नंबर का वैल्यू चाहिए तो मैथ डॉट ई का यूज करके ऐसे हम लोग ले सकते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल कैसे क्या करना है, लेट्स सी। जैसे कि हमें पाई चाहिए, तो हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं मैथ डॉट पाई। अगर हमें यूलर्स नंबर का वैल्यू चाहिए तो मैथ डॉट ई यूज कर सकते हैं। अगर हमें स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ टू चाहिए तो मैथ डॉट एस क्यू आर टी टू कर सकते हैं, और बहुत सारा मेथड है जैसे हम लोग कर सकते हैं। लेट्स सी, जैसे कि हम लोग डिक्लेयर करते हैं एक वेरिएबल एक्स, इसका वैल्यू रहेगा मैथ डॉट पाई और उसे प्रिंट करते हैं कंसोल पे लॉग एक्स। सो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि एक्स का वैल्यू यहाँ पे प्रिंट हो चुका है जो पाई के वैल्यू जैसा है। अगर हमें इसे यूलर्स नंबर में कन्वर्ट करना है तो मैथ डॉट ई करेंगे, यहाँ पे यूलर्स नंबर आ गया। अगर हमें स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 2 चाहिए तो SQRT 2 कर देंगे तो आ जाएगा। अगर 9 का चाहिए अ, अगर जैसे स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 9 का चाहिए तो इसके लिए हम लोग SQRT मैथ डॉट SQRT का यूज़ नहीं कर पाएँगे। ये सिर्फ़ 2 के लिए ही प्री डिफाइंड है। लेकिन अगर हमें 9 के लिए चाहिए तो क्या करेंगे? उसके लिए भी एक मैथ की एक प्रॉपर्टी है जिसका यूज़ कर सकते हैं। उसे मैं अभी थोड़ी देर में बताऊँगा। तो बेसिकली ये प्रीफिक्स्ड वैल्यू है जैसे math.py, math.e, math.sqrt2 सिमिलरली अ, स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ हाफ और हाफ के लिए 1_2 करते हैं। ये प्री डिफाइंड वैल्यू है। इसमें ये प्री डिफाइंड वैल्यू के अलावा अगर हम लोग कुछ और टाइप करेंगे तो वो अनडिफाइंड आएगा। जैसे अगर नेचुरल लॉगरिथम ऑफ 2 चाहिए तो math.ln 2 कह सकते हैं। 10 के लिए चाहिए तो 10 कर सकते हैं। ये सब प्री डिफाइंड है। इसके अलावा अगर हम लोग 9 करना चाहें तो ये हम अनडिफाइंड आएगा। सो ये कुछ मैथ्स के थे प्री डिफाइंड प्रॉपर्टीज और भी बहुत सारे हैं जैसे कि लेट्स से math.round। math.round का क्या यूज़ होता है? math.round का यूज़ होता है हम लोग कि किसी भी इंटीजर को इसके नियरेस्ट इंटीजर में राउंड करना। जैसे कि दैट y इज़ इक्वल टू 4.9 and since z equals to math.round x sorry y. Now we'll console log it, console log z. So यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि 4.9 को राउंड करने के बाद उसका वैल्यू 5 आ गया। राइट, अब 4.5 करेंगे तो 5 आएगा, 4.4 करेंगे तो 4 आएगा, 4.02 करेंगे तो 4 आएगा। तो ये मैथ डॉट राउंड हो गया। नाउ दूसरा है मैथ डॉट सील। मैथ डॉट सील का अ, क्या फंक्शन होता है? वो अ, किसी भी अ, डेसिमल वाले इंटीजर को मतलब डेसिमल नंबर को उसके अपर इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट करता है। लाइक 4.9 होगा तो उसे 5 में कन्वर्ट करेगा, 4.2 होगा तो उसे 5 में कन्वर्ट करेगा, 4.3 होगा तो भी उसे 5 में कन्वर्ट करेगा। जैसे सी यू कैन सी दैट 4.3 को 5 में कन्वर्ट किया, 4.1 को 5 में कन्वर्ट किया, 4.7 को भी 5 में कन्वर्ट करेगा, 4.9 को भी वो 5 में कन्वर्ट करेगा। सो ये हो गया मैट डॉट सील। और दूसरा मेथड है मैट डॉट फ्लोर। मैट डॉट फ्लोर क्या करता है? मैट डॉट फ्लोर उसके अपर इंटीजर में ना कन्वर्ट करके लोएस्ट इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट करता है। लाइक 4.9 को 4 में कन्वर्ट करेगा, 4.8 को 4 पे कन्वर्ट करेगा, 4.3 को भी 4 में कन्वर्ट करेगा। सेम वे जैसे लाइक 4.9 को ये कन्वर्ट किया 4 में, 4.9999 को भी 4 में ही कन्वर्ट करेगा, 4.2 को भी 4 में कन्वर्ट करेगा। तो फ्लोर का अ, काम क्या होता है कि वो जो भी डेसिमल नंबर है, उसके लेफ्ट मोस्ट इंटीजर मतलब नियरेस्ट लेफ्ट इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट करता है, अगर नंबर लाइन पे रिप्रेज़ेंट करें तो। नेक्स्ट है ट्रंकेट। ट्रंकेट का काम है सिर्फ किसी भी डेसिमल नंबर का इंटीग्रल पार्ट को रिटर्न करना। लाइक 4.2 है तो 4 रिटर्न करेगा। जैसे see trunk mat dot trunk of y will be 4 minus 4.2 का -4, 4.9 का भी 4। सो ये हो गया मैथ के कुछ मेथड्स। और भी मैथ्स के कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज है और मेथड्स है जो कि है मैथ डॉट साइन। मैथ डॉट साइन का यूज होता है पता करने में कि क्या ये नंबर पॉजिटिव है, नेगेटिव है या जीरो है। अगर पॉजिटिव होगा तो मैथ डॉट साइन 1 रिटर्न करेगा, अगर नेगेटिव है तो -1 रिटर्न करेगा, अगर जीरो है तो जीरो रिटर्न करेगा। जैसे कि लेट्स सी मैथ डॉट साइन, क्योंकि ये वाई फोर नेगेटिव है तो -1 रिटर्न किया, पॉजिटिव पे 1 रिटर्न करेगा और जीरो पे जीरो ही रिटर्न करता है। ना दूसरा मेथड है मैथ डॉट पावर। मैथ डॉट पावर पावर्स को कंप्यूट करने में यूज होता है। लाइक 2 to the power 3 हम लोग को कंप्यूट करना है तो कैसे करेंगे। सी मैथ डॉट पावर 2 3 8। सो अगर हम लोग को 2 to the power 3 कंप्यूट करना है तो सबसे पहले बेस को पहले लिखेंगे, फिर उसके एक्सपोनेंट को बाद में लिखेंगे, पावर को बाद में लिखेंगे। तो 2 to the power 3 is 8, 8 to the power 3 512, similarly 4 to the power 3 64। So this is all about math dot power। और दूसरा हम लोग का है स्क्वायर रूट फाइंड करना है। तो अगर किसी भी का स्क्वायर रूट फाइंड करना है तो हम लोग यूज करते हैं मैथ डॉट एसक्यूआरटी। ये स्मॉल वाला एसक्यूआरटी है, एसक्यूआरटी, और इसमें हम लोग पास करेंगे कोई तो नंबर लाइक 4। 4 का स्क्वायर रूट क्या होगा 2, 6 का स्क्वायर रूट क्या होगा तो 2.44, 9 का स्क्वायर रूट क्या होगा तो 3। मैथ डॉट एसक्यूआरटी का यूज स्क्वायर रूट को फाइंड करने में होता है। नेक्स्ट है मैथ डॉट एवियस। सो मैथ डॉट एवियस एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू को फाइंड करने के लिए होता है। लाइक अगर नेगेटिव है तो उसी को पॉजिटिव में कन्वर्ट करेगा, उसको रिटर्न करेगा, पॉजिटिव को पॉजिटिव है, जीरो को जीरो से। मैथ डॉट एवियस ऑफ -9 विल बी 9 ओनली, 9 का 9 ही होगा, जीरो का जीरो ही होगा। तो ये था मैथ डॉट एवियस। नाउ अगर हम लोग को साइन, जैसे साइन किस साइन का वैल्यू निकालना है, साइन 30, साइन 40, तो मैथ डॉट साइन का यूज कर सकते हैं। सिमिलरली कॉस का वैल्यू निकालना है तो मैथ डॉट कॉस का यूज कर सकते हैं। और जो भी वैल्यू हम लोग उसमें इनपुट करेंगे वो रेडियंस में होगा। सो रेडियंस, अगर डिग्री को रेडियंस में कन्वर्ट करना है तो उसका एक फॉर्मूला आता है 90 इंटू पाई डिवाइडेड बाई 180। और पाई मतलब लाइक 90 जो है वो एंगल होगा इन डिग्री। सो अगर जनरलाइज में देखें तो angles in radians is equal to angles in degree into pi divided by 180। So let's see, जैसे मैथ डॉट साइन ऑफ 90 डिग्री हमको निकालना है तो 90 इंटू हम लोग प्रीफिक्स वैल्यू का यूज करेंगे मैथ डॉट पाई डिवाइडेड बाय 180। सी वी गेट द वैल्यू 1। हम लोग का यहाँ पर वैल्यू 1 आ चुका है। सिमिलरली अगर 60 डिग्री का हम लोग का साइन वैल्यू चाहिए तो यहाँ पर 60 करेंगे, अगर 30 डिग्री का है तो यहाँ पर 30 कर देंगे। तो ये था मैथ डॉट साइन। सिमिलरली कॉस वैल्यू लगाना है तो मैथ डॉट कॉस कर देंगे, कॉस 0 इज 1 It was 90. Was 90 is set with 0. 0 it returns now for 90. Returning. Let's see for 180 minus 1. So it works fine. Now let's see another method, that is math.min and math.max. Now math.min and math.max are used to find the minimum and maximum value among the given list of values. So how to use it? Let's say uh, math.min among, say we will pass some numbers 0, 15, 45, -1, -80. So uh, mat.min will return the lowest or the minimum value among this given list of values. And here we get -18 because -18 is the minimum value among this list. Similarly, math.max will return the maximum value among this. See, we will get 45. So this was all about math.min and math.max. Now math.random. So if you want to generate any random number between 0 and 1, 0 is inclusive and 1 is exclusive. That means we can get 0, but we can get 1. So we use random. So let's see math.random, and we'll simply write math.random and we'll pass with to z and we'll print z. So here we get a random value 1, 0.10. Whenever we refresh, we will get a random value, random value, random value. And if you want to convert it into integer, like if you want to convert it in between 1 to 10, so simply you can multiply it with 10 and then use math dot steal or float to convert it into nearest integer. So like here you can get 8, 9, 4, 4, 2. So you will get the random number using math.random. Similarly, you can explore various math methods which will be available on uh, any internet source. You can simply go through it and can explore many math methods. So these are some most commonly used math methods. And let's see you the next topic. Errors in JavaScript. तो हम लोग देखने वाले हैं जावास्क्रिप्ट में एरर्स को. सो एरर्स कितने टाइप के होते हैं जावास्क्रिप्ट में, व्हाट आर द रीजंस एरर अकर्स, ये सब हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. सो एरर्स कैन बी ड्यू टू coding errors made by programmer or due to wrong input and due to various other reasons. Now JavaScript में बहुत सारे टाइप के एरर्स होते हैं लाइक रेफरेंस एरर, टाइप एरर, रेंज एरर, सिंटैक्स एरर और बहुत सारे. सो हम लोग एक-एक करके सबको डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. सो पहला है रेफरेंस एरर. तो रेफरेंस एरर क्यों अगर होता है? Whenever we try to access the variable which is not declared or is unreachable, then reference error occurs. इसको हम लोग करके दिखाते हैं कि कैसे होता है. जैसे let us try to print a variable y जिसे हम लोग डिक्लेयर नहीं किए. तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो, यहाँ पे रेफरेंस एरर आ गया क्योंकि y इज नॉट डिफाइंड. हम लोगों ने y को डिफाइन नहीं किया, डिक्लेयर नहीं किया और हम उसे एक्सेस करना चाहते हैं. तो इस केस में रेफरेंस एरर आता है। दूसरा है टाइप एरर। लेट्स से कि लेट एक्स इक्वल टू 10। यहाँ पे एक्स का डेटा टाइप नंबर है। अब अगर नंबर पे हम लोग किसी स्ट्रिंग का मेथड को अप्लाई करने का कोशिश करेंगे, तो वहाँ पे टाइप एरर आ जाएगा, क्योंकि string का method is only applicable on a string, not on numbers. So on that case, we face type errors. For example, see x dot to uppercase. यहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पे टाइप एरर आ चुका है, क्योंकि टू अपर केस सिर्फ स्ट्रिंग्स के लिए ये फंक्शन है, ना कि नंबर के लिए। तो उस केस में जावास्क्रिप्ट टाइप एरर शो करता है। नेक्स्ट हमारा है रेंज एरर। लाइक एरे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर में इंडेक्सिंग 0 से स्टार्ट होता है। सो अगर हम लोग इंडेक्स -1 को एक्सेस करने का कोशिश करेंगे, तो वहाँ पे एरर आ जाएगा, रेंज एरर। या हम लोग एक अरे को -1 साइज़ का डिक्लेयर करने का कोशिश करेंगे, तो वो भी वहाँ पे भी एरर आएगा, क्योंकि -1 साइज़ का अरे डिक्लेयर ही नहीं हो सकता है। जैसे कि लेट्स से एक्स इक्वल्स टू न्यू अरे ऑफ साइज़ -1। तो यहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हैं रेंज एरर, क्योंकि इनवैलिड एरे लेंथ है। तो इस टाइप ऑफ केसेस में जावास्क्रिप्ट रेंज एरर शो करता है। नाउ नेक्स्ट है सिंटैक्स एरर। सिंटैक्स एरर क्यों होता है? नाम से ही आपको आइडिया आ रहा होगा कि सिंटैक्स एरर कौन सिंटैक्स पे थ्रो होता होगा। सो लेट्स सी इट्स एग्जांपल। लेट एक्स इज इक्वल टू हम लोग एक स्ट्रिंग डिक्लेयर करने का कोशिश करते हैं, जैसे कार, और ये कोड को हम लोग हटा देते हैं। तो यहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हो कि सिंटैक्स एरर आ गया, इनवैलिड और अनएक्सपेक्टेड। सो ये कुछ टाइप्स हैं एरर के जावास्क्रिप्ट में। हाँ, अब इसे हम लोग फिक्स कैसे कर सकते हैं? तो बहुत सारे एरर्स को हम लोग ट्राई और कैच का यूज़ करके हम लोग अ, फिक्स कर सकते हैं। फिक्स नहीं कर सकते हम लोग, एरर को कैच कर सकते हैं और उसके अकॉर्डिंगली कुछ ब्लॉक ऑफ कोड को एग्ज़ीक्यूट करा सकते हैं, और ये इंश्योर करा सकते हैं कि 1-2 एरर की वजह से पूरा कोड बंद ना हो। एरर के बाद भी हमारा कोड चलता रहे। तो उस केस में हम लोग ट्राई और कैच का यूज़ करते हैं। लेट्स सी हम लोग कैसे यूज़ करते हैं उसे। सो लेट्स सी ट्राई। ट्राई के अंदर हम लोग कोड लिखेंगे जहाँ हमें ऐसा लगता है कि इस पार्ट में एरर आ सकता है। लेट्स सी हाउ इट इज़ डन। Uh, let x equal to divided by 0. As you know, there's इस केस में लाइक हम लोग 0 से डिवाइड कर रहे हैं, तो ये अनडिफाइंड होता है, ये एरर देता है। तो we will do a catch and error, then we will try to type, uh, let's say console log error. Now we will use throw keyword to throw a error, like so invalid division. नाउ हम लोग देख सकते हैं लाइक एक्स को अगर हम लोग टू एक्स को हम लोग 2 डिवाइड बाय 0 करने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं जो कि इनवैलिड है और यहाँ पे हम लोग मैनुअली एरर को थ्रो कर रहे हैं और ये कैच ब्लॉक में एरर को कैच करके हम लोग प्रिंट करा रहे हैं। सो अगर हम लोग बेसिकली सेम इनवैलिड डिवीजन को ही प्रिंट कराना है तो यहाँ पे एरर को प्रिंट करा सकते हैं। सी इनवैलिड डिवीजन, लेकिन इसका यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि लाइक यहाँ पे हम लोग मैनुअली एरर को थ्रो करने का कोशिश किए हैं। एक्चुअल में हम लोग इसको कैसे करते हैं लाइक इन रियल सिनेरियो हाउ यू वी यूज दिस। सो लेट अस अज्यूम अ केस जहाँ पे हम लोग एक फंक्शन को डिक्लेयर करते हैं, जैसे फंक्शन डिवाइड एपी now let us pass a value 1,0। सो यहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हो कि जब हम लोग 0 से डिवाइड करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं तो कि यहाँ पे इन्फिनिटी आ रहा है लाइक जो कि 0 से डिवाइड करने पे वैल्यू इन्फिनिटी को टेंड करता है, तो ये एक तरह से एरर है लाइक हम लोग नहीं चाहेंगे कि कोई भी इनपुट करे तो ऐसा गलती ना हो कि लाइक 0 से डिवाइड कर दे या कुछ रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगा दे लाइक जो डिवाइज़र हो या वो 10 से बड़ा ना हो। तो उस केस में हम लोग ट्राई और कैच का यूज़ करके काम कर सकते हैं लाइक एक हम लोग जो भी हम लोग को काम करना है वो हम लोग ट्राई ब्लॉक के अंदर कोड लिखेंगे लाइक अ, फर्स्ट हम लोग केस बनाएँगे इफ बी इज़ इक्वल्स टू 0। हम लोग थ्रो कीवर्ड का यूज़ करके एक एरर थ्रो करेंगे कि डिवाइज़र कैन नॉट बी 0 और लेट अस implement one more restriction that divisor should be less than 10. So if be less greater than 10, greater than equal to 10, then and again we use throw keyword to throw a error. Divisor cannot be greater than say none. After that, we will simply console log the result A by B. Now with try, there must be a catch block with a parameter error, and we will simply console log the error. Now let's uh, remove this, and we have tried to pass divisor as 0. So we can see here divisor cannot be 0, and further code is not executed like this. Console A by B is not uh, executed. Now if let us try to pass a value greater than 9, let's say 10. So here we can see divisor cannot be greater than 9. Now let's try to follow the rules. Let's say we pass 6. So if we can see that here in this case, we are able to get the result, that is 1 divided by 6, that is equal to 0.1666. So you can see that कि हमारा ये try और catch block एक्स जैसा हम लोग चाहते थे वैसा काम कर रहा है। हमारा जो रिस्ट्रिक्शन और इनपुट वैलिडेशन जो हम कराना चाहते थे वो कर रहा है और ये प्रॉपर्ली वर्क कर रहा है। तो बेसिकली दिस मेथड इज यूज्ड टू लाइक do input validations or uh, are used to ensure that a certain block of code executes only when a certain criteria is passed so that the error does not arise in our code. और एक और होता है फाइनली ब्लॉक। क्या ट्राई कैच के बाद एक फाइनली ब्लॉक भी हम लोग ऐड कर सकते हैं जो ऑलवेज मतलब एरर आए या ना आए ये हमेशा एग्जीक्यूट होगा ही होगा लाइक कंसोल लॉग से लेट्स से थैंक यू। सो आइदर ये एरर ये पास हो, एरर जनरेट हो या ना हो, ये फाइनली ब्लॉक का कोड हमेशा एग्जीक्यूट होता ही होता है। लाइक if we want to execute a certain block of code in both cases, that is whether the error is generated or not, uh, then we can use this finally block. So let let test this like 1 0. You can see. Uh, yeah, this is you can see here divisor cannot be 0 and this block of code is executing. That is thank you. Let type 10 and see here divisor cannot be greater than 9 and thank you is printed. And again, let us suppose that all the criteria is satisfied. Then also the finally block is executed. So this was all about try catch block and finally block. So next we are going to learn about the destructuring in JavaScript. Destructuring in JavaScript. So destructuring को हम लोग कुछ ऐसे समझ सकते हैं जैसे let us assume that we have an object named person. So let mm, person enter first name Rahul, last name Gupta, and let's say age is 19. So अगर हम लोग चाहते हैं कि इस पर्सन का कोई एक प्रॉपर्टी लाइक फर्स्ट नेम या लास्ट नेम या एज हम लोग एक अलग वेरिएबल में डिक्लेयर करें तो उस केस में हम लोग डिस्ट्रक्चरिंग का यूज कर सकते हैं लाइक कैसे करेंगे क्योंकि ये ऑब्जेक्ट है तो हम लोग यहाँ पे ऑब्जेक्ट डिस्ट्रक्शन करेंगे तो सिंपली डू लेट और ये कर्ली ब्रैकेट का यूज करेंगे और इसमें वो उस प्रॉपर्टी का नाम लिखेंगे जिस जो से हमें कन्वर्ट कराना है लाइक एक वेरिएबल में। इससे हमको चाहिए फर्स्ट नेम एफ नेम एंड इक्वल्स टू पर्सन। सो हमारा फर्स्ट नेम वेरिएबल में राहुल एज सेव हो चुका है लाइक एज अ वेरिएबल। सो जब हम लोग कंसोल लॉग करेंगे एफ नेम को तो हम लोग राहुल यहाँ पे हम लोग को राहुल मिल जाएगा। सिमिलरली हम लोग एक बार में सारे को कर सकते हैं लाइक एल नेम या एज। तो यहाँ पे इसमें सेम केस में फर्स्ट नेम पे राहुल मिलेगा हमें, लास्ट नेम पे गुप्ता एंड एज पे 19। सो ऐसा ज़रूरत नहीं है कि हम लोग सेम सीक्वेंस में ही से लिखें, हम लोग इसे आगे-पीछे कहीं से भी लिख सकते हैं। हम लोग बस हम लोग को ये ध्यान में रखना है कि ये जो प्रॉपर्टी का नेम है और ये वेरिएबल का नेम है वो सेम होना चाहिए। जैसे यहाँ पे मैं fname कर देता हूँ, यहाँ पे lname कर देता हूँ, फिर भी उससे कुछ फ़र्क पड़ने वाला नहीं है। लाइक यहाँ पे fname कर दें तो राहुल ही आएगा और लास्ट नेम करें तो गुप्ता ही आएगा। सो दिस इज़ ऑल अबाउट ऑब्जेक्ट डिस्ट्रक्चरिंग। और हाँ, अगर हम लोग उसे कुछ और कोई नेम देना चाहेंगे लाइक सिंपली नेम और यहाँ पे हम लोग नेम प्रिंट करेंगे, तो यहाँ पे हमेशा अनडिफाइंड आ जाएगा। बट अरे डिस्ट्रक्शन के केस में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। अरे डिस्ट्रक्शन के केस में हम लोग कोई भी वेरिएबल नेम दे सकते हैं, प्रॉपर्टी नेम के से सेम नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा कोई इसमें क्राइटेरिया नहीं है। सो लेट्स सी हाउ इट वर्क्स। तो एक अरे को हम लोग डिफाइन कर देते हैं, लेट फ्रूट्स फ्रूट्स पे एप्पल, बनाना, वाटरमेलन एंड कोकोनट। ना अरे डिस्ट्रक्शन के लिए हम लोग ये बिग ब्रैकेट्स का यूज करते हैं। तो इन सेम फॉर्मेट लेट एंड जैसे F1 कर देते हैं, F2 कर देते हैं एंड F3 कर देते हैं इज इक्वल टू फ्रूट्स। इसमें हम लोग को ये ध्यान देने वाली बात है कि लाइक अगर F1 करेंगे तो फर्स्ट जो 0 इंडेक्स पे अ, डेटा होगा वो असाइन होगा। सेकंड पे करेंगे तो फर्स्ट इंडेक्स वाला असाइन होगा, थर्ड पे करेंगे तो थर्ड इंडेक्स वाला असाइन होगा। हम इसे बाय कंसोल लॉग करके वेरीफाई कर सकते हैं। F1 करें तो एप्पल आया, सही है। F2 करें तो बनाना आया और F3 करने पे वाटरमेलन आ गया। ना हम लोग ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं कि लाइक हमें लेट्स से कि एप्पल चाहिए, बनाना चाहिए लेकिन वाटरमेलन नहीं चाहिए। तो हम लोग एक यहाँ पे एक्स्ट्रा एक अ, कॉलन लगा देंगे तो ये हो जाएगा। सी F3 अब करने पे कोकोनट आ रहा है। हाँ, सिमिलरली अगर जैसे हमको एप्पल और वाटरमेलन चाहिए तो जैसे समझो कि यहाँ पे F2 नहीं था तो F2 को हटा देंगे और एक्स्ट्रा कितने कॉलम्स हमें लगाना है? तो एक तो एक्स्ट्रा लाइक यहाँ पे 2 कॉलम्स करेंगे तो आ जाएगा। ठीक है, फर्स्ट एप्पल एंड F3 एज़ अ कोकोनट। सो हम लोग ऐसे स्किप कर सकते हैं। अगर हम लोग को ऐसे नहीं करना है इंडेक्स वाइज़ भी हम लोग इसको एक्सेस कर सकते हैं लाइक से लेट हमें फर्स्ट इंडेक्स वाला चाहिए F2 और हमें चाहिए सेकंड इंडेक्स वाला F4 उप्स यहाँ पे कोलन का यूज़ करेंगे। सॉरी मैं इसे कोलन बोला ये कॉमा है। कॉमा का यूज़ करके हम लोग स्किप कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे F2 और यहाँ पे कर्ली ब्रैकेट का यूज़ करेंगे एंड देन जब हम लोग इसे प्रिंट करेंगे तो हमें हमारा डिज़ायर्ड आउटपुट मिल जाएगा लाइक से F2 उम, बनाना जो कि फर्स्ट इंडेक्स पे है F4, the watermelon. See, तो ये था array destructuring. हम लोग ऐसे array destructure कर सकते हैं. So this was all about destructuring. हम लोग basically सिर्फ arrays और ऑब्जेक्ट का कवर किया वैसे स्ट्रिंग डिस्ट्रक्शन भी होता है जिसका ज़्यादा यूज़ हम लोग बेसिकली करते नहीं है। अगर आपको इसके बारे में जानना है तो आप इंटरनेट सोर्सेस पे इसके बारे में देख सकते हैं। नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट डॉम। So what is DOM? DOM stands for Document Object Model. So we are going to study Document Object Model, commonly known as DOM, which is a fundamental concept in JavaScript and web development. So DOM is basically a programming interface provided by the browser that allows JavaScript to interact with HTML and CSS. Like when web page is loaded, the browser passes the HTML document and converts it into a structured representation that we call DOM. So this structure is basically organized in the form of a tree where each element in the HTML document becomes a node in the tree. The topmost node is called the document node, followed by the HTML element, and then body, and then style elements like headings, paragraph, and so on. Like here you can see here here we have the HTML contents and the DOM tree. So uh, the document becomes the topmost node of this tree. Then it is followed by HTML. Then HTML has two nodes, like two child, like head and body. Head has title, body has div has paragraph, then uh, header, then unordered list, then we have list. So basically this HTML content is converted into a DOM tree. So what is the use of this DOM? So basically, yeah, we can use this DOM objects to uh, make the dynamic changes in our web page. Like in JavaScript, we can uh, access this DOM object and can change the properties of this DOM objects or this, let's say, if we want to change the content of the header tag, then we can simply use the DOM to do that. Let's see how we can going to do. So first of all, we are going to learn the most commonly used DOM methods. So these DOM methods are basically used to get the elements or the contents from the HTML file. Like first we have, let's say, let's make our web page a little more detailed and do some styling. So we have a header tags with ID hi and the content is JavaScript tutorials. Let's do some styling also. Uh, let's say color to be red and font size, let's say 50 pixels and text aligns, let's say center. So we have done a basic uh, styling in our web page. Now I'm going to demonstrate the DOM methods, which are commonly used to get the elements from the HTML document. If we want to access the header, then how we can access it, or any other, like let's say we have a paragraph with class, let's say para, and something uh, random content to this. So how we can access it? So the first method to is get element by ID. So let me do let x is equal to document dot get element by id. So we are trying to access the header file, that is JavaScript tutorial, and its ID is high. So get element by ID. Hi. Now, uh, other method is like get element by class name. Let's say let y is equal to document dot get element by class name, and here we will pass the class name like the para. Similarly, we have get element by tag name like p or h1. Then we have uh, document.query selector, document.query selector all. So let me demonstrate. Let z is equal to document dot get element by tag name, and here we can pass the tag. Let's see, paragraph. We want to access the paragraph, so we will pass p. Next one is query selector. So let's say let p is equals document dot query selector. And here what we pass? Here we pass a CSS selector. Uh, what is CSS selector? Like the way we use in CSS file to access the content, like for ID we use hash, then similarly for classes a dot para, and we do uh, some operations, so like let's say uh, color to be seen. So here basically we pass the CSS selector. Like let's say I have to select this uh, paragraph. So here we see we have uh, declared the class for this paragraph. So we will pass here dot and dot para. So it will get selected. Now suppose that we have multiple classes with same name. So in that case, uh, query selector gives the first occurrence. So this is the use of query selector. Then another we have query selector all. In this also we pass the CSS selector, and in this case, uh, all the occurrences are selected. So these are some commonly used uh, methods to select the elements from the document. Now we have learned how to like select the elements from the document. Now we are going to perform some operations on it. So let us suppose like we have to change the uh, text content of uh, elements. Like let's say we want to change this text JavaScript tutorial. So how will we do that? So uh, we have here X, and we have selected it the header by ID. Here we can see the ID is high. Here we have done let X is equal to document.get element by ID, and we have passed the ID high. Now to change the text content, we can simply use X dot, let's say text content was let's say we have to change this to Hackslash. So here, as you can see, we are able to change the content. Now there is another way we can do the same thing. So let's say X dot in HTML to be Hi. So we are able to do this. Now, inner HTML is not only used to change the text content, we can also use this to insert a additional tag. Like, let's say we want to use the insert the bold tag, and here we like hello, and yeah, let's say hello, and then this is the equals to what? Let me Let me do this in paragraph because the header is already bold. So let's say here we use other tag like let's say like list element. So you can see that like there is a little bit change here in the orientation because it has been converted to the list, and this is converted to the word. Let's use an ordered list here, and you can see we are able to insert the tags within the content of a other tag. So it is similar to like inserting a other here, uh, 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 an ordered list tag and line the list tag and doing something random. So basically, this was the use case of inner HTML. Now we have one more method that is, let's say, let me remove this. Uh, the next one is text dot inner text. Now, inner text, what it does, it uh, gives basically the inner text content of a tag or elements. So, if we want to set or modify, we can simply here write anything and we will be able to change the text content. So, there are three methods, and all three methods can be used to manipulate the uh, given tags, and all three differ with each other. Now, I'm going to explain what is the difference in detail. So let's start. Now, what is the difference between text content, inner HTML, and inner text? Now, basically, the inner HTML, what it does, inner HTML gives us the HTML content inside an element, including tags. So suppose we have selected the h1 tag, and if there is another tag inside h1 tag, then inner HTML will give access to that tag as well as the content, like say JavaScript tutorial. So let let me see. Let me say like we have one tag like an ordered list, and where it is one more tag list, and we will pass here Hackslash. Now let console log x dot inner HTML. So you can see that we are able to get all the content of this header tag, like the unordered list and JavaScript tutorial. You can see. So inner HTML provides us the all the contents inside a tag along with the HTML text which is present inside it. Now, next one is like inner text. So, inner text basically uh, gives access to those text elements which are only visible. Like, suppose we have uh, here one, let's say we have a paragraph tag and we like right here Hackslash and let's set it property to hidden. So mm, style display none. So you can see here we are not able to see the term Hackslash. Like if I remove that uh, none, then we are able to see Hackslash, and if I simply write none, then we are not able to see Hackslash. So basically, Hackslash is hidden. Now, if we try to access it using inner text, then we are not able to see the hidden text that is Hackslash. But if we use text content, we are able to see the text along with the hidden text. Let's see text content. So here we can see the hidden text that is accessed is able to get access. Like we are able to access the hidden text also. So this was the basic difference between all these three methods. So now let's move forward. Now, apart from modifying content, JavaScript can also change styles dynamically, like using the style property. So how we can do that? Let's see. Let's say we want to change the style of this header JavaScript tutorial. So first of all, we have to select it. So let x equal to document dot get element by ID, and ID is our height. Now we have selected it. So to change this property, we will use a style property to manipulate the styles. So let's say x dot style dot. Now what do we want to change? Let's say we want to change the color. Okay. So let's say color is equal to blue. So you can see we are able to dynamically change the property, the property like the CSS properties of this header tag. And let's say we want to change the font size. So let's say x dot style. Then we want to change font size. Let's say 30 pixels. So you can see here the font size is 10. Now, one thing which we have to mm, like carefully observe that, and while manipulating the CSS properties using DOM and JavaScript, we have to use the camel casing. Like in normal style.css, here what we see, right? Font, then hyphen size. But here, as you can see, we have used the camel casing and we don't use the hyphen. So this was an important checkpoint which we have to consider while manipulating using DOM. So this was a basic style manipulation that we can use uh, to make our web page do dynamic changes. Now DOM also allows us to create new elements dynamically, like in our main index file, like if we want to create a element, like say, if we want to create a button, so we can do it by using DOM. So let's see how we can do. So let we define a variable. Let's say let element is document dot create element. Now let's say we have to create a new paragraph. So we will pass p, then let us modify the content. So let's say uh, element dot inner text be, let's say this para is added user dot. But then we use document dot body dot append child, and what we want to append, like we want to append elements. So we'll pass it. Now, as you can see here, our paragraph is added dynamically using dot. Similarly, we can uh, remove it, remove an element using DOM method. So let's see how we can do. So now, first of all, we will select the element that we want to delete. Let us say I want to delete this paragraph. So here we can see this paragraph's class name is para. So let so let first of all we will select that paragraph. Let's say jet is document dot get element like class name, and here we will pass para. So basically, this will return an array of classes. So we have only one class named para. So we will access it by using the index 0, and then the accessing is simply use the remove method. So you can see here our paragraph is removed. So by using DOM method, we can either create a new element dynamically, or we can remove the existing one. Now we are going to discuss some DOM event methods in JavaScript. So what is an event? An event is any action performed by the user or browser, such as like clicking a button, typing on keyboard, moving the mouse, or submitting a form. So basically what happens, JavaScript listen to this event and execute a code in response. So one by one, we are going to discuss this method. So first method is on click. On click. So let's go to our HTML file. Let's say that we make a button here with ID, let's say button only, and here we'll add the name click. Now we'll go to our app and we will define a function. Let's say function say hello, and then we will simply console log a massive log, hello. Now to execute this function, here we will use on click attribute, on click, and we will simply pass the function name. So we have function say hello. Let me verify. Yes, say hello. So whenever we will click this button, the function say hello should be executed. So let's see. So you can see here our function is executed and hello is printed. Let's say we want to give a alert button is clicked. So this should also execute. So we go to our web page and click here. So you can see here we get alert like button is clicked, and here we get the hello. Instead of doing all this, like instead of declaring on click here, we can do in our main JS file also. So let's see how we can do. Let's comment out. So let's select our button that let debugging document dot get element by ID button. Now, like we will use simply this X and then on click. Then we will pass a function what we want to execute. So let's say we want to console log, or let's say we want to throw a error. Console dot error button is clicked. So now whenever we try to click this button, we can see here we get an error in our console that button is clicked. And let's add some another piece of code like console log button to not it click now. So you can see here on clicking, here we get the error button is clicked and we get button should not be clicked. So this is the way we can do. And next method is event listener. So add basically to add event listener. So how to use this? So basically, first of all, uh, we will simply select like the way we did. Let copy it. Now after selecting the element like where we want to perform, let's say now mm, mm, we have selected the button. So now we will simply use x dot add event listener. Now which event you want to listen? So we want to listen the click we do in the button. So we will do pass a click, and after click what which function you want to perform. So here we will pass the arrow function and simply we will console log event listen. So on clicking here, uh, we say you can see here event listener is printed. Now here say hello. We have to remove this as it is given as errors. So again on click here we can see our function is being executed. Now, there are several mouse method, like one is click, other is double click. So simply DVL and then click. So on clicking once, our function will not be executed. We have to click twice. So see, on double clicking, you can see our function is being executed and even listener is printed. Now, other uh, mouse method is mouse over. Mouse over means whenever our cursor goes over the element that we have selected, then the function will be executed. So let us select this header that's ID is high. So that's the element getting element by ID, and here we will let symbol high and mouse over. So basically, whenever we will uh, cross our cursor over JavaScript tutorials, uh, our functions will be executed. So you can see here, whenever I put my cursor on the header, our function gets executed. Once again, see, twice. Once again, see. Let us add alert. So it will be easy to visualize. Alert, mouse. So as you can see, whenever I am scrolling my cursor over the header, we are getting alert saying mouse over. Yes, also. So uh, other is mouse out. So basically, in mouse out, whenever we remove our cursor from the selected element, our function will get executed. So whenever I remove, say let it's not working. Let me see. Yes. So whenever I remove this cursor from this JavaScript tutorial, our function get executed. See, so here we print our message. Now, similarly, when dealing with the input element, we have keyboard methods, namely key down, key up, and key press. Now, let's do a real life implementation so we have a better understanding of this event listening. So, let us suppose on clicking, we want to change the content of this uh, header, like we want to change this from JavaScript tutorials to Hackslash. So simply, first of all, we will select this button. So let's do again. Let XP document dot get element by ID, and we will pass the ID of button, this button only, and then let's dot add event listener. Here, yes, we want to execute our function on clicking. So click, and we will pass our function, and let us select this header. So let y a document to get element by ID, and we have ID high, and then dot text on 10 equals mm, sorry, I know y y dot text content, let's say access. So basically, on clicking this button, our header should change from JavaScript tutorials to Hackslash. So let's see. So you can see here on clicking, our header gets changed from JavaScript tutorial to Hackslash. So uh, this was all about uh, methods like event methods using DOM. So now we are going to study about asynchronous programming in JavaScript, which is one of the most important concepts for building real-world application. Now, in JavaScript, many operations take time, like fetching data from server or reading files or waiting for user input. So in that case, if JavaScript executed everything line by line while waiting, the application would freeze. So to solve this problem, JavaScript uses asynchronous programming. So first of all, let us discuss what is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous. So here is an example of a synchronous code. So synchronous, let this console.log I JavaScript and suppose write console.log Hackslash. So you can see here, first of all, hi is printed, JavaScript printed, then Hackslash printed. So synchronous code means uh, tasks are executed one after another. That is, uh, first I will be executed, this line will be executed, then line 4 will be executed, and line 5 is executed. So in synchronous, every task are executed one after another. Now, what is asynchronous? So in asynchronous programming, tasks do not block execution. Suppose we have uh, let's say we console log start, then we use a synchronous function set timeout, where we will pass a function. Let's say we will print print this, and then we'll wait for 2000 milliseconds, that is 2 seconds. And then we will console log end. So basically, in asynchronous programming, tasks do not block the execution. What that means, first, this will be executed. Now, this function will take some time. So JavaScript will not wait for this. It will move forward and will execute this. And after when this time out gets over, then our function get executed. So let me remove. So see here, let me refresh. So first our start and end is printed, then async is printed. So in asynchronous, order does not matter. If a function takes time, so the JavaScript skip that part and continue forward. Like it doesn't wait for it, and when that part uh, executed, then its result is printed. So first start is printed, then it will take 2 seconds of time. So JavaScript uh, doesn't wait for this to get executed. It moves forward, prints end, and when the timeout gets over, this console.log async happens when we get async in last place. So this was asynchronous code. Now we are going to see about callback. So what is callback? A callback is nothing but a function which is passed as an argument to another function. So let me show you what is callback. So let us assume we have a function, say greet, and here we will pass a parameter and a callback, and we will simply console.log hello, and then we will print the name, and we will call the callback function. Now let us define the callback function. So function done. Let and we will console.log done. So we are going to pass done and greet function as a callback and see. Let us see what happened. So greet. Let us pass the name as access, and then we will pass the function done. So basically, callback is this function done because it is passed as an argument to greet function. So let us see what. Just give me, sorry. So you can see here, we call the greet function and pass the name Hackslash. So and we also pass a callback function done. So when greet get called, it prints hello and name, that is Hackslash, and then this callback function is called, that is done, and done prints done. Let us add one alert also. Let's say callback. So when we will refresh, uh, as we can see here, the alert callback is there. So we do okay, and we can see hello Hackslash is printed, then done, and then that alert that came at the beginning. So this was all about callback. Now we are going to discuss promises. So back here, promises. So what is a promise? So a promise is an object that represents a future value, and it has three components, that is state, result, and handlers like dot then dot catch. So first of all, we are going to discuss the three state of promise. So first state is pending. A minute. State of promise. So first one is pending, which means it is the initial state. Second one is fulfilled, uh, which means that the state is in success state. Like the promise or the execution that we want to do is a success, is got executed successfully. And third is rejected. That simply means the request which we have requested is rejected or failure. So these are the three states of promise. Now let us see how we can create a promise. So basics syntax is like let promise is equals to new capital P promise, and here we will pass a function uh, with two parameters, that is resolve and reject. Then let us say let success is true, and we use set timeout function. Here we will pass one arrow function, and let's say if success is true, then resolve, let's say data received, else reject, let's say error required. Mm, and let us pass it 2000. So basically here we have tried to create a promise, and we have declared a variable success which is true, and we have used the set timeout function, and if success then resolve data received, else reject error. Okay, so what is this uh, resolve an error? So resolve what does is it moves the state of promise to fulfilled state. That means uh, it says us basically says us that our request or uh, our code is being executed. The thing that we want to do is executed, and our state is in success state. And reject means simply means reject that our request has been denied, and we have moved to rejected state. So any one of them will get executed. Like you see, we have used the if else statement. So either uh, the promise will move to um, fulfilled state or rejected state. Now, basically, asynchronous function, uh, like async functions, return us promises. So how we can consume this promise, like how we can utilize these promises. So let's say we have promise, and we will use dot then. Then is basically used if we get a success, uh, like if our promise state is fulfilled, then is used. So let's say here we will use a result as a parameter, then simply console log result. And along with then, we use catch to catch the error if we get. So let us pass error parameter, and we simply console log it error. Console log error. And if we want to use the finally block, then we can use it. Finally, we will simply pass a function and will console log this will be always executed. So as we have created our promise, like promise, new promise, and we have declared success to be true. So if success is true, then we will resolve data received. So we have basically moved to fulfilled state as success is our true. And then when we try to consume our promise, promise dot then is basically used for success. And here result is a parameter, and we have console log the result. So basically, uh, and result we what we receive, the thing that we have resolved, like data received. So data received is accessed here in result parameter, and what we have done is basically we have printed it in the console tab. Now let us suppose this to be false. If it false, then refresh it. So if it will false, then our promise state will move to rejected, and what we get error, which will be uh, detected in this catch block. So uh, in catch block, the error parameter value will be the thing that we have rejected here. That is error occurred, which we have passed in reject. So here error will be equal to error occurred, and we have what we have done. We will simply console log this error. So here you can see error occurred, and this finally block, as I had mentioned earlier, whether the error occur or not, this finally block will always get executed. So in both case, in case of success also, in case of failure also, this finally block will get executed and this will be printed. So this was basically about promises, like how we can create it. Like here is the creation part, and how we can consume this, like basically how we can use these promises. So here it is. So this was all about promises. Now we have one very important concept regarding promise, which is promise chaining. So what is promise chaining? Let's see. Let us define a function. This is function step one, and simply we will return a promise here. Promise dot, we will pass a success state, that is resolve, using resolve, that is uh, with a message like step done 10. Then again we will define one another function, which is step 2. Here we also return a promise, return promise. Again we will use resolve, type step 2 done. Now how we can consume this? So basically we write the function name like step 1, and then use 10 for success. Here we will pass a callback with yes, that is response, and we'll simply console.log yes. And here, what we will do, we will return step two function. After that, again, we will use then because uh, we have already declared a result, so there will be success. So then block will be executed. And after printing the response, which will be step one done, uh, we are here returning a step two function. So a step two function will be called and it will again return a promise. So again, after it return promise, then we have to consume that promise. So again, we will use dot then and we'll try to consume that other promise too. So simply again, we will define the response parameter and then simply console log response. So I will here refresh. Let me comment out this. So as you can see here, we are getting step one done, step two done. So what happened? So first of all, you can see here we have declared a step one, step two, and in both function, we are returning a process, sorry, a promise uh, with a success state by using resolve and a message like step one done and step two done. And now we are here using promise chaining to handle the both promises. Like first of all, we have called the step one function. So when we will call a step one function, this is step one function will uh, return promise. So that promise is handled using then, in which then we are uh, declared a parameter yes, which means response. Then we have used that arrow function and we have tried to console log the response that we are getting, which is step one done. And as you can see here, step one done is printed. Then we are again returning step two function. So here, what will happen is step two will be called and step two will return again a promise. And then this promise will be returned by this then block. So this then block will return promise. So to handle that, again, we will use then and then we try to again initialize this parameter and try to console the response that we are getting from the second promise, that is step two then. So we are we are getting step two done. So this was all about promise chain. Hope you have understand. Now, next we are going to move to async await. So why we need async await? So basically, what async await does is it makes the asynchronous code look like a synchronous code. So uh, before implementing async await, we have to keep in mind three core rules. So first one is let me type it here. Core rules. So first one is uh, async function always returns a promise. So promise. Second one is await can only be used inside async. And third one is await pauses execution until promise resolves. So these are the three core rules that we had to keep in mind before implementing async await. And so let's start implementing async await in JavaScript. So let us declare a function uh, let's say fetch data. Here we will return a promise, we return new promise. We'll pass a resolve parameter. Then we will simply use set timeout function where we will pass a callback where we will simply resolve and we'll pass method message say data received. That we will set the timer for 2000 milliseconds. Uh, that's done. Now we will write the async array. So first we will use the async keyword before a function that we want to make asynchronous. So async followed by normal function declaration. So let the function name be get data. Here we will simply console log start and let us declare a variable name result. Let the result was await. Here we will use await and we will call the function fetch data. So basically what await does, await will basically pause the execution for a while until the promise that the fetch data returns is resolved. So now we will simply console log the result and we'll console log and now let us call this get data function. So you can see here we have start, then uh, it paused for 2 seconds, then we got data received and then end. So how it basically working like first we were uh, calling this a get data function. So when this get data function, which is asynchronous function, uh, which we have declared using async. So when this function get called, first of all, what happens is this stat is printed, and then uh, here a result we have used the await keyword and have called this fetch data. So here the JavaScript code waits until this the promise that is returned by the fetch data is resolved. So fetch data is called, then we are returning a promise where we are set the timeout for 2 seconds and we are sending a resolve with a message data received. That message is stored in this result and after the promise is resolved, the code moves to the next line, that is line number 76, and we are able to print this result that is data received and then the end. So basically, in this function, only async that async function, this thing has been converted into a synchronous uh, code. That is the behavior here is like the one shown by the synchronous code where the first line is executed, then the second, then the third. Generally, what happens in normal case if we don't use a sync and await, so basically in that case, start will get printed, then end, and then this result will get printed. But as we have used the sync await, this has basically uh, made the synchronous code behave like a synchronous code. One point we have to keep in mind that this behavior is only done within the sync function, like uh, the execution order, which has been converted into those of synchronous order, is only applicable in this async function only. Uh, but not in outside the async function. Like if we say, like if we here console log, say let's say data, and here also we do console log I. So you can see the data is printed, start is printed, and then hi. So basically, first the behavior, like uh, the synchronous behavior is only applicable within the this async function, but outside that, that is not valid. Like here, first will data is printed, then it goes inside this function, start gets printed, and now JavaScript says that this is taking time, so it skips for a while and moves toward this uh, part, prints high, and then again go back, get the results, but then print the result, and then prints the end. So this was an important point which we have to keep in mind. Only the behavior of synchronous is applicable inside the sync function. Like you can see start, then result, and then end, but not outside it, not outside the sync function, like as I have shown you. Now we are going to move forward. So basically, uh, here we have used one await. Uh, we can use multiple awaits, and in that case also the function will be executed in the same manner, that is line by line, that is in synchronous way. So let us see. Again, let's say let result to be await fetch data, and again we console log result to plus we print a string so that we can see the difference. This is second, and then we will refresh. So see start, then we will have data received and data received second, and then end. So it is following the order. So, so basically you can wait, use more than one await inside a function, async function. Now, one most important concept comes while using async await uh, is error handling. Why error handling is important? Because async code can fail. There can be several reasons why async can fail. Some reasons are like network issue or server error or invalid data. So if we not do error handling in async await, we will be facing a huge problem. Like our app will crash. So error handling is important in async await. So let's see how we can do the error handling in async await function. So as I have taught you earlier about the try catch block, so simply we will, instead of writing the code in this way, we will enclose it inside try block, and we will try to catch the error. So how will we do? Simply we'll write try, and we'll shift this code inside the try block, and here we will define catch block, and we will pass the error parameter like error and simply console log the error. So using try catch block ensure that if our async function get failed, there is no impact on our overall app. Like other functionality keep working fine, and the whole app does not crash because of this function. So using try catch block is important. We can also use finally block if we want to uh, make sure that some part of a code gets executed, even if our uh, code fails or mm, get success. So finally, block can be used in either cases. So this was all about using try catch. One important point is that we can also manually throw error and we can catch it. Like let's say uh, here we say like if result is null, like or we can say if not result, then so mm, error and we can here pass the message that we want to pass. Let's say no data. So in this way, you can manually throw errors and can console log the problem in our console tab. So this was all about error handling. Now let us use this async await in implementation of a real life problem. Like we are going to do a real life example on this async await and using this try catch block. So let's get started. First, we will comment out this. So now we will be defining a sync function. Let's say your user data, and here we will define the try block. Inside try block, we will do our work. We will define a variable response, and we will use the wait to wait, and we will use the fetch keyword to fetch from the API. Basically, this API like HTTPS mm, JSON placeholder dot typing code .com slash users. So basically, this is API which provides dummy data of users uh, online. Like it requires internet. Uh, Basically, it uses this API to fetch data from internet. So we are trying to fetch the data and then we will here do manual verification. If not data, like if response is not found or response dot okay, then we will throw error. So new error, let's say network error. Now, if everything went fine, then we will simply define a data variable and we'll pass the data we got from the internet. That is, oh, await response dot JSON. Here we used await because this passing is a synchronous function, like it takes some time. So we have to wait before we print this data. So we have used the await here. Now after that, we will simply console log the data that we have received. Now with try, it is necessary to implement the catch block. Here we will catch the error and we will simply console log it. Or we can pass like failed date failed, and we will pass error dot. We use the message. To get this message, we have to use the error dot message. Now let us call this. Let me refresh. So now let us call this function user data. Uh, Require is not defined. Sorry. So as you can see, we have received a manual dummy data from our API. Here you can see his name, user name, email. So basically, this is how we can uh, get the data using API, web APIs, and do the error handling and use the data accordingly. So let me explain this code. So we have defined a synchronous function, user data, and under try block, we have defined a response variable where we have the use the await keyword to fetch the data from this web API. Why we have used await? Because fetching data requires some times, and we want to wait uh, before getting any response from this web API. Now, after uh, getting the response from this, we check whether we have received the data or not. If we haven't received the data, then we have thrown a manual error, that is network error. And if everything well goes fine, then we have declared a data variable where we have passed the JSON data. Uh, then we have console log the data. Now, here we have used the catch block to catch the error, and we have simply printed failed and the message that we have passed here, that is network error. So let me close this data Wi-Fi and see whether we get the error or not. So you can see here we have get the error that is failed to fetch. So here you can see internet disconnected, and here we have thrown the error, and the message that we are getting is that we are not able to fetch the data. So uh, this was all about async await and error handling using try catch block. With this, we complete the fundamentals of JavaScript. These basic forms the backbone of everything you will build next, from simple scripts to complex web application. Until then, bye bye and happy coding.